What's going on, Upper Tile? All right, Mayor Omar here. So I was passing out flyers and a resident stopped me and she wanted to talk to me. She was talking about, regular stuff and saying how good the neighborhood is and the community and how it's changed for the better and things like that, which I appreciate. Then she said, Mayor, she said, can I ask you a question real quick? I said, of course. I said, you can ask me anything. I love my residents, right? Gotta love the residents because they're so cool. But so she was asking me, she said, look, she said, why is it that every time I argue with, she said she was arguing with her boyfriend. She said, why is it that every time I argue with my boyfriend that he always changes the subject and won't stay on subject? So I started laughing. I said, man, I don't know. I said, I think first of all, it's partly like a communication problem, kind of. And then secondly, I think it's like when somebody's gaslighting you. You know what I mean? I think it's a gaslighting type of thing. So, because the thing about it is this. It's like when you're arguing with somebody and they don't want to stay on topic because they know they lost the argument. So when you're arguing with somebody and the topic is something, but they keep wanting to after a while they want to change the topic and start bringing up old stuff or stuff that has nothing to do with the original topic. So they'll start being like, oh, well, that's why you and your dad don't get along. Or that's why you and your mom, you got mommy issues. You'd be like, what the heck does that got to do with the topic? Or that's why you don't wash the dishes. Or that's why I keep asking you to take the trash out and you don't take out the trash. And you guys are arguing about something totally different that has nothing to do even remotely with that. That's because somebody has a lot of pent up. They have a lot of things they've been keeping inside, right? It's pent up, and now with this argument, they're just letting everything out. And that might be a sign that the relationship might not be going well, because there's a lot of things that they've been keeping inside that they probably despise you about, and they've been holding it in. And now with this one argument, even though this argument was about something totally different, all the stuff they don't like about you, all the things they hate about you, they're starting to let out right away. And so that might be a sign that the relationship is really not going as well as you probably thought it's been going for the past 6 to 8 months or something like that. But yeah, you just gotta look, this is all I gotta say. If you're arguing with somebody and they won't stick to the topic and they're bouncing around from topic to topic to topic, that might mean one of two things. One, that you've won the argument, but they don't want to concede and they don't want to admit that you won the argument. So now they're trying to find a different argument to start that they can try to win. Because they don't want you to leave knowing that you got the best of them. They don't want you to leave knowing that you won the argument. So they might just be changing the topic, right? Because you already won the original topic, you already won that argument, and they just don't want you to leave a winner. That might be the one reason why they keep changing the topic. The second reason why they might keep changing the topic is because they just have a whole bunch of stuff about you that they don't like, but they've just not been telling you that. So there's just a bunch of things about you that they just don't like about you, things about you they might despise about you, and they've just been keeping it to themselves all this time. And with this one argument, they're gonna let everything out now. So they're just gonna hit you with everything, like a bombardment of everything they've been holding inside they don't like about you. It might be that, and if it's that, you guys have much larger issues than you probably originally knew about or even thought that you guys had. So that might be something you have to address even deeper. But it all boils down and falls back to communication. Anything that you feel, you should say. Anything that you're thinking, you should say. I was having this discussion, or having kind of this little issue with my ex-girlfriend, because if something comes to my mind, I'm going to ask about it. That's communication. Or if something pops in my head, I'm going to ask you about it. I'm communicating with you. I'm keeping an open line of communication. And she had a problem with that. And I'm like, how do you have a problem with me keeping an open line of communication? Look, anybody out there, in any way, I don't care if it's business, politics, relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, if you have anything on your mind to say to me, don't hold it in. Ask me right away or tell me right away. Let's have this conversation, because otherwise you end up holding things inside, and then when you have one little discussion, you start saying a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with the discussion. And you're like, where the hell is all this coming from? This has nothing to do with the topic. Yeah, that's because when they had thoughts in their mind, when they had questions, they never said anything. And that was the issue. And that was the problem. They held it inside, and then it just all comes out at one time. You don't want that. So if you ever have a question about anything, or ever have a comment about anything, ask the person or talk to the person. Have that conversation right away. Right away. And if the person can't handle that, then they're immature emotionally, they're immature, and they can't handle communication. You need somebody who can handle mature communication. Okay? All right. I love y'all. Y'all take care. Mayor Omar, peace.